cotton, little fluff balls all over. Okay. All right, so we're gonna grab whatever we're using for our rolling, which is on our mat. Great. Okay, and then just take a moment just to stand off your ball or your dowel for some time just to ground into how you feel right now. So as we feel our feet around hip width apart on the mat, arms can be externally rotated, palms forward. We're going to inhale through nose and exhale through mouth. We're going to do that a couple times. Inhale through nose, exhale through mouth. Take some time, maybe as the breath moves into you have a pursed lip breath in the nose, pursing the lips, blowing it out through the lips. Sometimes hands just want to rest on body, which is another alternative. Settling the shoulders, letting the knees just gently bend so that you can feel the weight drop a little bit more attentively into the toes, the heel. You might notice a little movement from toes to heels as you continue to let the breath breathe in the nose, out the mouth, or in and out of the nose. Eyes can stay softly opened or closed. You choose. You might feel a nice shift from left foot. Notice how when you press the floor away with left foot, how that feels and connects and activates the muscles through the left leg to the left hip. And then you might notice right foot. Just lift the left heel a little bit, root into right foot. Notice what's happening here. A little bit of proprioception awareness. As we land, you may want to do that one more time. Checking in with left side. As you press down, feel a little lift up. Okay, so that happens as a rebound of pressing down. And some of you might feel that gathering in, that transverse abdominis of a SH breath that might come in. And then as you press down, there's a lifting up that happens through the throat and through the top of the head. You can also feel the very tips of your ears pulling up. Sometimes even touching that point on the top of your head, which is just in front of your swirl of your hair. If you go forward, you'll feel the little peak of the top of your head. And if you press down with your fingers into the top of the head and up with your head into the fingers, you might feel a release and an elongating through the upper part of the torso and neck and head. Might connect upper body and lower body. And then when you're ready, you release that and then choose if one hip is feeling a little bit sensitive or one shoulder. You're going to press down through that foot and lift the leg that feels a little bit sensitive. So just take time finding a focus point 3 to 4 to 5 feet in front. And really notice, do I have all the toes pressing? Do I press the inner heel, the back of the heel, the outer heel into the floor? And then you wait. You wait for the body to elongate, and then maybe the foot starts to come up. Sometimes just an up, down. And sometimes you can hold it there. Some of you like to do the knee glides where you extend and lengthen. Mhm. Yeah, good. Ah, just gonna go grab something some just off line for a moment of a visual. Mhm. I just wanted to bring in just that awareness of the visual of the psoas again. Just so we're aware as you're foot rolling, And some of you know the psoas, but feeling the pelvis, a right hip, left hip. And the psoas muscle, right, which attaches onto all the lumbar, passes through the pelvis and goes on the inside of the femur. It's a really long muscle called a polyarticular muscle, which means that it passes through a whole bunch of joints. And so as you're standing on one side, I want you to feel the lower part of the psoas lengthen down and the upper part lengthen up. And so there's always this oppositional awareness as you're foot rolling. Ah, yeah. Hmm. You take your time to explore that first foot. You might go from foot to foot. One of the things we want to take note when we're standing is how are our feet working? So balance is a little bit more challenging when we have our inner arches that maybe drop and our foot rolls in. So it's called a pronate in. And you'll see that your ankle drives in and your knee drives in, and it makes it really difficult to balance. The other one is when the inner arches lift too much and you're rolling more to the outer edge of the foot. This is called supination of the foot. And so they each are a little bit different in what is needed to be done. If you find your arches kind of fall and your inner ankle drops in, you need to feel like you're picking the mat up, lifting your inner arches. Yes. Yeah. And you can even feel that there. Do you feel that on your left foot, Kim? How that does a little bit different for you? Yeah, and you can really feel sometimes it's helpful if you think of lifting your inner ankle a little bit. There it is. There it is. Yep. hmm I'm just going to go to my left foot now. Yeah, use the wall if you need to. Just going to turn the music down a tiny bit. Um, Okay, so just check in with yourself when you feel the foot rolling is maybe a little bit more complete. Nice. You take your time, and then you'll feel when you're ready just to move the ball or the dowel off to the side. Hmm. Okay, we're going to go right into some lateral release now. So you're going to have your feet still finding that hip width apart. And then we're going to reach up through our right arm. And checking in with your shoulder, I'm just moving back so you can see my whole body on the screen. Some of you might want to drop your right hand to the shoulder and just lift up through the elbow. Some of you can extend that whole arm all the way over. And maybe you take your left hand to hold the right wrist. Yes. Now you want to root down through the right side and watch that you're not twisting the body too much. Just try to find a nice lateral so you're tugging on that arm as you're pulling down through the rib cage. Yeah, breathing. And then just check in. Maybe you're coming up a little bit. Maybe you're rolling forward a little bit. I like to go back a tiny bit. You listen to your body as you keep breathing, and then you're going to switch and you're going to go to the other side. So you're going to tug the arm, really feel that side lateral release, and then let the body kind of roll forward. There's been some really beautiful research over the last couple months on maintaining flexibility as we age. And if we move in whatever way that we're moving through the whole body, then it helps to maintain our flexibility more when we age instead of really thinking about isolating one muscle or one part of the body. And so this class, we always focus on moving the body as a whole and really following any of the fascia research. So just take your time here to feel your whole body from your feet pressing into the floor to your legs rooting down to maybe that SH breath. Yeah, nice. Really listen. What does your body need? You might even interlace the hands depending on how your fingers are feeling. Sometimes arthritis isn't feeling quite great. You can just put the back of the hand on the inside palm of the hand and you can press it forward. That's a little adjustment. And then lean back through the shoulder blades. Bend the knees a little bit and then just roll and rock a little bit through the body. Notice how this hand position feels. Some of you might even go behind the head. And so you can place your hands just on towards the base of the skull. We're not on the neck, we're above the neck on the skull. And you might feel, oh, I just want to reach my elbows to the sides of the room. You're going to feel your shoulder blades in the back body squeeze together. There's a nice release in the back. Some of us were doing maybe some lifting. Yeah. And then we're just going to roll forward very gently. So we're not pulling on the head too much as our chin goes towards our chest. We're going to lean the back of the skull up into very soft hands. And I want you to notice your shoulder blades widening and just hold that for a few breaths. Let the shoulders descend and the shoulder blades descend down your back. And we'll do that one more time. Just come up. Lift through the heart, the chest, elbows reaching to the sides of the room. Sometimes the gaze lifts a little bit. And then we're just going to go down one more time, chin very softly towards the chest, elbows coming in, but the head is leaning up into the hands, and you can start to feel the back of the neck, the upper shoulders open, the shoulder blades widen. Good. And then as you come back up to center, release the arms. Wow. Nice. Yeah, that one was calling in. So let's do a few shoulder rolls just to kind of complement that before we do our forward fold. So feeling feet again. Inhale as you press down through feet. Shoulders are going to come and we're going to rise them up towards the ears. And then we're going to roll them back. And you're going to feel that squeeze of the shoulder blades that we started as we bend the knees. That's an exhale out the mouth. And inhale as you press down through the feet. It can be through the nose. And then you squeeze back. Exhale out the mouth. Beautiful. We're just going to go through that at your own timing. As you exhale back and down, the knees are bending. As you inhale up, you feel the squeeze, and then the exhale back. Let's go one more in this direction, and then we're going to switch and go the other way. So now you're going to go back as you inhale up, and then forward as you exhale and release. So it's going to be a back, and up, a forward, and a release. Yeah, just let your body express however it wants to. Ah, one last one. Good. And let's do the squeeze and the release. So the tension and the release as we inhale, draw the shoulders up and squeeze. And then when you're ready, exhale, let them drop. So it's a squeeze, inhale, hold breath for a moment, and then exhale, let go. Let's do that again. Inhale, squeeze, hold your breath for as long as you want, and exhale. Now let's do a pursed lip breath as we inhale, draw it up and squeeze, and then purse the lips and slowly lower the shoulders as you blow the breath out the mouth. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze, breathe out. Just take a moment to notice if you need one more. Feel your body as you are. Ah. Okay, we're going to go into a forward fold. So I'm just standing sideways for ease. You're either going to put the pinky side of your hands or the thumbs in the creases of your hips, and you might use that to help guide you to lengthen through the side body, which is also releasing psoas. So as we inhale, exhale, you're going to feel as you start to bend and the hips release back that you're going to push the fingers or the thumbs in and pull the hips back to feel an elongation as you reach out the top of the head forward. Find a flat back. Take a moment here just to feel. Some of you might feel, as I do, the lower back, or what we would call just above the pelvis, the thoracolumbar fascia lengthening, unwinding. And then whenever you're ready, the arms can release down. You're still in a flat back. You're just going to swing your arms. Yeah, there you go. Feel your toes, feel your heels. Keep the inner arches lifted or lift the ankles. Reach energy out the top of the head forward and back out through the pelvis. And then you decide, do you just want to hang in a flat back? You bend the knees, forearms onto your thighs. Those of you that want to go a little bit deeper, you're going to press the feet into the floor, lift the pelvis up to the sky as the torso folds forward into a deeper forward fold. Arms can dangle, they can touch the floor, they can sway. You can bend and hold. Right hand holds left elbow, left hand holds right. Just bring in maybe a little bending of one knee as you lift, maybe your left heel as you bend the knee and you lengthen through the right. And then you drop the left heel and you lift right heel and lengthen up and down through the left. Sometimes it's nice just to walk it out and feel each leg individually. If it's not yours to do, you let it go. Good. Now we're going to go into chair pose to support ourselves in coming up. So we're going to sit down with the buttocks. Good. Check in. Do you need to lengthen the pelvis back? That's the lower end of the psoas. Maybe arms come up or touch the thighs. As we breathe here, feel a little energy sending it up, out the top of the head and the ears. Good. Notice all your toes. Yeah. Just encouraging the blood back up towards the heart as it works on a low pressure system. So the venous return is activated through muscle contraction. Okay, so slowly start to stand up. We're going to do a few swinging twists. So just moving the spine in all directions to warm up here. The height of your arms is yours to find. And we're going to let that slow down. And we're going to do, just before we go down to the floor, just a little mini release through the top of the foot just to prepare us for a few things we're going to do on the floor. So some of you might find, oh, having a chip foam block for the top of the foot is really helpful. A wall might be helpful. And you can put the foot that you're standing on about a foot to a foot and a half away from the wall. And then you might even find that the top of the block, you can put your toes on it. If that feels too much, you can always hang your toes off the block a little bit, more on the top of the foot. But we're just wanting to lengthen through the top of the leg And so the sit bones widen, the thighs internally rotate a little bit, the pubic bone lifts up, and there's a lengthening as you lift lower belly, upper belly, heart, and you're going into a little of a back bend. You're lengthening down through the right leg, up through the right side of the body. And nice and long. Just finding some length for a little back bend. And then when you come out, you might circle the ankles. So you might have the foot on the floor using the wall as I am, or the toes can be on the floor as you circle one direction and the other. Good, and then you can shake out the leg. Good, and we're going to switch. So remember, you can come in and out of this one. Sometimes the toes don't love being pressed on, so you can bend the knees a little bit more so that you go more on the top of the foot rather than directly on the toes. Good. I'm just having my hand on my hip. Yeah. I'm wondering, I'm just going to be offline for a moment off camera. If we bring this back a little bit for you. There we go. Yeah. So come out. Yeah. Step on it. Yeah. Whenever there's a cramp, come out. And that's a really good indication because that could be where you need to ball roll a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. So you take your time there. And we have been there for a little bit. So some of you might be ready to come out. Good. Do a little ankle circling, a little shake. Okay. So then you're going to find whatever's on your mat, just pushing it off the mat slightly, just so that there's no barriers. I'm going to slide the spine in here. Okay, we're going to come down towards the floor. So we're going to find the short end of our mat. So you're going to come up to what you would call the top of your mat. Oh. Just take a moment to stand there, either hands on the belly or arms off to the side, just taking note. How do I feel? So just that little flow sequence of nourishing the spine, the body, creating fluidity and mobility, especially after we've slept in a stationary. We haven't moved a lot. The fascia gets a little bit more adhered or stuck. And then maybe the hands come to touch palm to palm, thumbs at the heart. So you inhale, exhale, arms release down. Press through the feet. Inhale, arms up. Gaze may follow. Good. Exhale. Remember that pelvis. Okay, so some of you might find putting the fingers in the hip crease of pulling it back to assist you in coming forward. And then you shift your weight once you're in your full forward fold onto the toes and the heels. So we don't stay back on the heels. We use the heels, the weight shifting back there as a transition point. Good, and then you're going to choose how you want to come to the floor as you bend the knees and try to get your hands down. And some of you are going to step back, big step, right foot, left foot into downward dog. And some of you might just come down, little step on one foot, drop the knee right to the floor, and then the other one. And then just situate yourself. Yeah, widen your knees if you need to. Hey, you might sink back and just let the pelvis come back to a place that feels okay with the knees and then lower the body. And just take a moment in child's pose here. Those of you that are walking it out in downward dog, you take your time to be there. If you're in child's pose with me, which a lot of you are, you can check in to see, do I want to walk the arms over to one side? So you're going to come off the mat and you're going to keep the arms shoulder width apart. So as the arms reach forward, your pelvis is sinking back. So this is a beautiful lengthen, not only through the side body, but through the whole length of the psoas. And sometimes you can feel the psoas, or sometimes it's elusive, but just note that it is happening. And then you're going to take your time. When you're ready, you're going to pass through center with your arms and travel the arms over to the other side. Make sure you're shoulder width apart. As the arms, and the upper torso, and the head reach forward, send the pelvis gently reaching back. Good. And then you take your time to be there. You're going to come back into center. So we're going to go through a few spinal waves here, and then we're going to repeat the sequence as we add on to it a little bit. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Here goes on the just lost my microphone for a moment. We're going to repeat the sequence that we've been doing and just adding on to it a little bit. So some of us have support. I really like to have a little foam block underneath my knee. So you might have it close to your right side. We're not going to use it quite yet, but just having it set up. So remember when you stack the hands under the shoulders, if this hyperextension doesn't feel good in the wrist, then you drop down to the elbows. Okay, your knees are right underneath your hip. And then we're going to flow through some spinal waves. So we're going to just exhale. Sit bone's going to release down. Lower back's going to round up to the ceiling. We're pushing the floor away through hands, forearms as the back rounds up and the head releases down. Then as the sit bones and the tailbone start to reach up towards the ceiling, the lower back arches, the middle back as the shoulder blades squeeze together in a very soft lift of the head and the eyes. So you're just going to go back and forth here. Starting from the pelvis and letting that flexion and extension ripple up the spine. Yeah, good. See if the body wants to even widen the knees a little bit and bring the big toes together. And that'll create a little bit more space in the pelvis. And maybe you inhale the whole body forward as you create like an oblong circle. And then you exhale the pelvis back to one leg, then in between the leg, then to the other leg, and then forward. So you're drawing this beautiful circle round. It's a really nice release for some of us through the external rotators in the hips. Some of us feel it in the inner thighs. Just flow with your breath. When you've gone a couple times in one direction, you may go the other direction. Just releasing the hips. Take a moment to pause as you sink the pelvis back. Couple breaths. Okay, so we're going to come up. And some of you may still be on your forearms here, so that's okay. But if you need to come up onto your hands to take that chip foam block and pop it underneath your right knee and your shin. And then you might just come back down onto the forearms, which is where I'm going to practice from. So you want to make sure that you start from a flat back here. So we're not arching through the spine. So right now I can feel my spine is arching. So we can take the transverse abdominis and wrap it from the back body to the front body and use that SH breath. So the abdomen's going to pull in towards the spine. You're going to feel your back lengthen. So just do that one more time. Inhale, SH breath as you exhale. Okay, you want to keep a flat back. So your gaze is down in between your hands or your forearms on the floor, little reaching forward through the top of the head. Now you're going to extend the left leg back. We're just going to keep our shoulders stacked over our hands or our elbows this time. Yes, good. Now you're going to press the right kind of knee into the block very gently, the forearms into the floor or the hands, and see if you can lift that left leg up by lengthening back, but try not to bring the leg up higher than the height of the hip. Okay, so as you reach back through your heel, the toes of the left foot are pointing down into the floor. So try not to go higher than your hip. So Joni, you can lower your leg a little bit down, down, down. There's your height of your hip. And then you're going to inhale, exhale. You can bring the knee and the forehead towards one another. And then you're going to inhale, exhale back so that the leg is just in line with the hip. Yeah, toes are off the floor. And then you're going to lift the leg up a little bit towards the sky and lift the torso and the head so you gently look forward. And then bring it back all the way down to the floor. Good. You're going to come off the right leg. Take a few breaths. Inhale, exhale. Let's try the other leg. Left knee. So if it's just partial part of the sequence, then you just do what your body feels it's capable of, and then it will slowly start to build. Yeah, so left knee on it. There you go, Ken. Okay, so take a moment, do an SH breath. Extend the right leg back. Reach forward out the head, back through the heel. As you lengthen, the leg just starts to float up. It's lengthening your psoas. Try not to bring that right leg. There it is, nice and perfect. That's great, Joni. Higher than the pelvis. Then you're going to inhale, exhale. And we're going to bring the knee and the forehead towards one another. And then you're going to lengthen back out into a straight leg, the height of the pelvis. Then you're going to lift the leg up higher than the pelvis and see, do you want to look a little bit forward? And then bring it down and in. Good. You're going to release. We're going to now roll over onto one hip. Good. Some of you might use that block behind your head as we bring our chin towards our chest, and we're going to roll down. Take a moment to arrive here. See how your head is meeting the floor. We are going to do our tapping sequence today. So some of you might notice, oh, where's my tapping tool? Is it close by? Do I need to grab it? So that will be your little wooden, whatever you've taken. As you meet the floor, you're going to draw one leg in towards the chest, the other leg in. Hands can be on the shins or back of the thighs. Just take a moment to rock a little bit from side to side. Feel yourself as you are communicating with the ground, the earth. Just taking a moment to let body drop into the ground. Good. We're going to bring our feet to the floor when you're ready. Knees are bent. Feet are hip width apart if you can. And your hands sometimes want to rest on belly or they want to be out to the side, maybe palms up. I just have a few props in the way, so I'm just moving them so that my body can express my arms out to the side. Take a few more breaths in the nose, out the mouth if you haven't already. Maybe a sigh. Just going to come in and feel the body on the floor from your feet. Notice which toes tend to maybe be a little shy and not want to load some weight into them. Try to feel a uniform distribution of weight through the toes. And then feel your heel. You have the inner heel, the back of the heel, and the outer heel. So you want to notice if there's one part of the heel that you tend to maybe favor. Try to distribute it through the heel. Allow your breath to be full as we connect to more a three-dimensional breath. In the very center of our body, inside of our rib cage, there's our diaphragm muscle that each time we exhale, it floats up into an upward dome, almost like looks very much like a jellyfish on the exhale. And when we inhale, the diaphragm lowers down in the center and it flattens down and it pushes on all your abdominal organs. And that's what allows the belly to expand. And then it pulls air in. So you feel your rib cage start to open up and fill through your lungs. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm will relax back up and the belly will deflate and the ribs will gather in. So we start to use the rectus muscles, the intercostals, the external and internal obliques are moving and helping us as we inhale and exhale. And just feel your body opening and expanding as you inhale to receive nourishment. And as you exhale and the body gently gathers, just feel, can my right hip descend into the floor as much as my left? Do I favor one hip or lean over into one hip more than the other? Notice your rib cage. Are you heavily descended on the right side as you are on the left side? Let it flow up into the shoulder blades, shoulders, arms. Feel the back of your head heavy as you breathe. Soft jaw, relax your face. Feel yourself in your wholeness as we rest here. Doing a little pause halfway through our practice. Sometimes we need to give body a moment to unwind or unravel or even arrive here. Creating a little bit more space. Take another few breaths here. And we're going to go into our tapping sequence now. So just note, as we do our tapping sequence, if at any time the pelvis needs a little lift, sometimes for some of us that allows our legs to be able to be a little bit more easeful in the air, you might take your chip foam block or folded blanket and lift the pelvis up and pop it underneath your pelvis. So that might be an option. So I'm going to demonstrate that. And so I've got a yellow block to just counter my dark clothing. And then you're going to lift one leg. You're going to bend the knee, draw it in. Okay, lift the leg up. Sometimes you can just do one leg at a time. Some of you I know like to have both legs up in the air. You choose. Okay, and then you're just going to start to tap through the ankle. So we're working with the lymphatic system. So we're starting from the ankle bone just above. And we're not tapping on bones because does not feel good. Okay, all the way up through the outside of the shin, the back of the calf, the inside of the lower leg. And you can also push the dowel into the leg and maintain that pressure as you slowly drag the dowel up from the lower leg towards the knee. This is called plowing. So this is really good to move fluid that's stagnant towards the heart. And you might go through the outside of the knee. I love going on the outside of the knee. It feels really good for me. You can always go very gently behind the back of the knee. Inside of the knee. You can go up through the hamstrings. Just bend your knees a little bit more when you get into the hamstrings. It'll help to allow the flow. So you can go through tapping mhm, to the plowing. Sometimes we find one area and we just want to go up and down and back and forth. So that's what we call combing. Okay, so that's just finding one area and just going up and down. And then sometimes you can take the dowel, and hopefully this translates online, like a little teeter. So you just kind of teeter across. So here's the vertical muscle of the hamstring, and you can teeter the muscle across the hamstring from the outer thigh, across the middle of the thigh to the inner thigh. This is what we call cross fibering. So it helps to disrupt any kind of holding patterns and helps the muscles and the fascia rearrange. Okay, so you do one leg for as long as you want. I always love to feel the difference between one leg and the other leg. You might feel what we call a little bit more of a slide and glide. Okay, so as you even point and flex the feet in the air, move them around, you might notice a little bit more fluidity and ease through the leg that you've done the tapping and the plowing to. We're going to be doing some hip work again today, so just want to prepare the body for this. And just moving up through the second leg. A reminder to not forget about inner thigh and outer leg. Sometimes it is even going into the outer leg, which is the iliotibial band, which is a huge fascial band, acts more like deep fascia, even though it's right at the surface of the skin, just underneath the skin. Okay, so you give your time to finish the legs, no rush there. But when you're done through the legs, the feet can come down on the floor, the dowel can go off to the side, the hands can touch the abdomen. Just feel the temperature of your hands. This brings us more, a little bit deeper inside the body into what we call inner felt sense or interoception. And as we slowly start to just feel the warmth of the hands or the coolness of the hands on the belly, you can start to massage it, you can tap it, you can do a little jiggle of the flesh into just going into the internal organs. And then you can take your right hand and tap through the left rib cage. I always like to put the back of my left hand just on my forehead as I tap here, but you decide what feels really good for you. And then you're going to take your left hand to tap through the right side. And then you're going to go up through the center line with both hands, going up your sternum. And then you're going to pause around your sternum, the upper part of your chest, around the collarbone. Tapping here, those of you that want to bring in the bee breath, which is so nourishing. It's inhale through the nose as the lips touch, and you still exhale out the mouth, but you do a humming sound as you keep on the exhale. Little vibration here. Inhale through nose as the lips touch, you hum. This breath has been known through research to help relieve fascial stiffness in the body. It also nourishes the mind. Okay, it distributes oxygen through the body. It's also a neurotransmitter, which is quite amazing. It produces a really short-lived gas called nitric oxide that really helps to bring all these amazing benefits to the body and mind. Good. And then you choose when you're ready, you might just extend one hand up. You might tap down the arm. Sometimes I like to separate my thumb from my index finger and just take it on the wrist and then just slide the hand up through the arm. Or just do the top side. You can also bring your dowel back in and do a little bit of combing or tapping up through the arm. You do both sides. Okay, you're moving from the wrist up towards the shoulder and the collarbone area. That's where the subclavian vein is that transports all of this excess lymph and fluid in the body up towards the heart. Been great, but they've been doing a lot of research recently on what is called the interstitium. And it's these fluid-filled spaces that are in between all the layers of the fascia and the muscles. We sometimes call them rivers. In Sanskrit, we call them nadis. Okay, so let's just do our face. So we're just going to take our hands. I'm going to take my glasses off this. You might just take your fingers and massage your scalp for a moment. Just want to do your scalp fascia. Just let your fingers massage through the sides of the temples, the back of the scalp, the sides of the scalp, the top of the scalp. You might even let your hands sweep over the forehead. You can even take your thumbs, and I'll sit up for this one so you can see it a little bit better. You can take your thumbs and in between the eyes, there's a little space that you can just lean your thumbs up towards the eyebrows and then just relax into the leaning. Just let the third eye center open. And then you can take your thumbs when you're done and just sweep them from the third eye center, those little grooves up and over the eyebrows. So just follow the arc all the way out to the side of your temple and release. You can tap underneath your eyes on your cheekbones. And you can tap on the chin. And then you can rub your hands together, create some palming. And then you can choose to place your hands if you want to cup over the eyes. So the heel of the hand cupping over, sorry, the heel of the hand on the cheekbone, the palm of the hand cupping over the eyes, fingers on your forehead. You're just going to pause. Your eyes can close or stay open underneath that doming of the hands as we rest here. Just let the breath breathe however it wants. It might be out the mouth, it might be out the nose. I'll take a minute here just to pause and feel the body temperature, vibration, maybe some more heaviness or lightness, some space. Notice where body's still holding. But always flow through yourself with this compassionate inquiry. And then when you're ready, take a few more rounds of breath. Just let the hands release. And keep the eyes closed or open them and then release the hands. You choose. Okay, so we're going to go into canoe pose first. So you're going to grab block Some of you are going to have a ball. Some of you might even use your weights beside you. So just kind of set your props up, maybe weights on either side. Hey, you can have the inflated ball if you want in between the legs. Some of us like to put the block in between the feet, so you choose. And as you squeeze through that center line, holding the block if you want, holding the ball in between the thighs, the arms can come up, can have our palms facing one another, and then you're pressing the back ribs into the floor, especially the lower one. That's the upper part of the psoas. Once I drop my block. Hey, let the knees bend as much as you need to, and then you're going to move the arms and legs towards one another and away. So when you go away, you don't want to be letting your legs drop too far so that you're arching your back. So only go a little bit and try to keep the lower back and the back ribs pressing on the floor. Some of you will use your SH breath. Just think of this nice fluid motion. It is work. So we are working a whole chain of muscles here. Nice. I'm just going to go one or two more times. Good. And then pause. And you're going to take the block and the ball, just put the ball off to the side. And then we're going to just work a little bit on the scissors that we've been doing because it's going to really help us into the next couple that we're going to do. So we're going to take the block onto the left thigh. So you're going to lift the left leg up. Now watch, when you lift the hip up, make sure the hips are level. Okay, put the block on your left thigh, and then you're going to have your left forearm pressing into the block. Left forearm, yep, there you go. Okay, and then just start to press. Feel your back press into the floor. And then some of you may lift your right leg up, extend it up into the air. Some of you may just do leg. Some of you may have right arm and right leg up. So you choose. Okay, if you're just doing leg, the leg is lowering down. If you're doing arm as well, the arm is releasing up and overhead. And then the arm and leg come together. So you keep pressing the thigh and the left forearm into each other. And then the arm and the leg come back towards one another. You bend the right knee as much as you need to. So don't do too many. It might be just do two or three. Okay, and then you're going to switch. You shake it out as you remove the block. Okay, then you're going to put the block on the right thigh. Right forearm presses into it. Now just take a moment to be there. Check, are my hips still level? Okay, decide, is it just the left leg that wants to extend? Maybe right arm does as well. And then as you keep pressing right forearm and right thigh into each other, use your SH breath if you want. The arm is releasing up and down. There it is. Good. Nice. Just watching over you online. Something different is connecting on this one, Gloria, for you. It's really good. Hey, don't do too many because we have to do opposite. Okay, so when you're ready, you pause. Okay, shake it out. Ah. Okay, so now we're going to do opposite. So that means that the block is on left thigh, right arm or hand is pressing into the block. So we're connecting right hip and left, sorry, right rib cage and left hip. So this is our spiral line. So that means that the right leg is extended. You might be doing right leg, and some of you might do the left arm as well. So as right hand presses into the block and the left leg presses into the block, you're releasing left arm overhead, right leg down, and then the arms and legs are coming towards one another. Just keeping our lower back snug on the floor. This one's a little bit more challenging for me to talk and do. Yeah, this one is the one that challenges me a little bit whenever we are twisting and doing all of our spirals in life. Some of you may feel this one's easier or harder. Okay, take a moment, pause. And then we're going to switch. Okay, so that is right block on the right thigh. Left hand is pressing into it. Okay, we're going to extend right arm, left leg in the air. Now take a moment to pause. Okay, we're doing left rib cage and right hip. Might feel that SH breath wanting to come in. Just do one or two more. And then you release. Just take a moment here. Whew. Okay, we're going to put the block off to the side. So you might draw the knees into the chest. You might do a little wipering of the legs. You might just pause. Some of you might want to just extend out on the floor. Just let the abdominal muscles lengthen. Okay, so this is setting us up to do three. We're going to do some hip work. And so these are called seesaw and three heel pose. And so we're going to use the bolster here. And we're going to lie on our left side. And we're going to have the bolster under the rib cage. So you have it about a foot or so in front of the hip, and you're just going to lie down over the bolster. Now, if this is too much on the shoulder and supporting your head with your hand and your left elbow on the floor, if that's too much, then you just take the bolster and you slide it and you lie all the way down. Okay, I'm going to be up halfway. Okay, so let's do lower leg to start. So right foot is behind left leg. Yeah, and your toes are softly pointing towards your left leg. Then you're going to internally rotate that right leg. Yes, exactly. Now you're going to feel as you press down. Okay, this is opposite, right? So it's right rib, left hip. So this is what we did in our spirals here because it's the left leg, okay, that is going up and down. There it is. Inner thigh here. We're trying not to rock and roll through the pelvis, so there's no shifting. And then maybe it's just a little bit. Now, if you have a little bit more ease and you're feeling, I want to put a little bit more load onto it, okay, you can also put the weight on the inner thigh. Kim, you're not going to do the weight. Yeah. Okay. And you can go up and down. And that you might notice, oh, what's happening here? Use your SH breath. Yes. Yeah, you stop when you're ready. Good. Now you're going to lower that leg down and you're going to push the bolster all the way out and you're going to lie down now with your left side of your body all the way on the floor, head onto the bolster. Good. We're going to bring our right leg up. We're going to shake out the right leg and let's just tap it for a moment. Back of the thigh, top of the thigh, inner thigh, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, good. Now you're going to bend the right knee a little bit. So the toes of the foot are just softly pointing up towards the ceiling. You're on a little bit of a 45 here. Your left foot can choose. So I'm tapping it up and down on the screen so you can see it. Your left knee is bent and your left toes, your third, fourth toe, might even push into the floor like you're pushing the mat away. Might bring a little bit more support for you. And then you're going to lower the leg down and up. Okay, when you come up, you might even feel your thumb in the hip crease of that right leg to try to lengthen through that right hip. So just watch that you're not lifting the hip up too much. It's the leg flowing in the hip socket through the whole leg moving. This is just to nourish the leg. So this is three heel pose, very soft strengthening. Yes. Then you're going to pause and you're going to roll right onto your left side and you're going to straighten that right leg. So this time your toes are facing forward and it's a nice straight leg, like you're pushing a wall away. Now we're going to just lift the leg up and down. So we did these last week, just going over them. So just strengthening through the side core. Nice straight line in your body. So if you were to look down, is my leg and my hip and my torso all in one line? Yes. Good. Now pause, shake it out, roll onto your back. Hey, you might move the bolster off to the side or away from you for a moment. Check in how you feel. Now we're going to roll over onto right side. So I'm going to just flip around. Okay, we're doing bottom leg first, which is seesaw. So that means you're bringing the bolster in. So you're supporting on the side of the ribs. And some of you can have the forearm on the floor. Some of you might put your head supported. Some of you might push the bolster all the way out and put the head right on the bolster. Yeah, there you go. Now, left foot is behind the right thigh, and toes are pointing a little bit more towards the leg. Yeah, there you go. You can see how that internally rotates the thigh and brings it inward. So that left thigh is coming in. So it's not out, it's rolling in. There it is. Good, Gloria. And then you're pressing that left foot into the floor. So as you press the left foot into the floor, I feel that my left leg starts to become light. You can put your hand on the bolster if you need, and this right leg is the one lifting up and down. If you feel any popping in the hip, as I just did, I kind of pull my thigh bone up into the hip socket. And that will release any popping. Okay, no rocking and rolling in this one. It's a lot of work. It's inner thigh, adductors, right? Adductors, adding to the body. The adductors connect inner knee to the pelvic floor, the pubic bone. Couple more if you need. You can always add the weight if you want. Good. Then you're going to release that right leg down. And you're going to slide the bolster out so that your head is releasing onto the bolster. It's a little roll back. Remember, the right side of the toes, the pinky toe, the third toe, the fourth toe can push into the floor. As the left leg extends, you shake it out. Some of you might want to tap it. Good. And then you're going to bend the knee. And then you're going to lower the leg down and up. Remember, the toes have a very soft point towards the ceiling. It's a little bit of a 45 for the leg. It's like the foot is drawing a rainbow in the sky. It's a whole leg release. It's nourishing. Some of us like that SH breath. Yes, there it is. Yes. Try not to bring the leg too high. Only see where does the leg want to go? Because sometimes this is as far as the leg wants to go. If you bring it up too far, you can feel the body is kind of fighting you. So just notice, where is my range of motion where I feel fluid, I feel easeful, and then let the body slowly open up. So if it's just here for now, then you stay there. Okay, flow in that range. Try not to fight against body. Good. And then you're going to roll right onto your right side. Right ear, shoulder, hip, all in one line as you lengthen through that left leg. So check, look down. Like you're pushing the wall away through your foot. Really, it's a flat foot in the air here as you lift the leg up and down. Reach some energy out the crown of the head forward. I've just got my hand supporting me with the bolster just because I've got my microphone here. So I want to be able to allow my sound. A couple more movements. Remember, you can stop at any time. Pause, remove the bolster if you want, roll onto your back. Hey, now some of you, depending on how you feel, I want to give you a couple options here. Some of you may feel, oh, my hips are feeling a little bit tight and I want to release them. So you might choose to go into a figure four, which is your right ankle onto your left thigh. And you can put a bolster or a block underneath the hip to allow for a little bit more ease. Some of you, if you have a ball, can also put it underneath the right hip as well and do a little myofascia release. So you choose. Is that yours? Is that what you need? I'm just going to go into a few rocking here. Sometimes it's just the feet on the floor, and maybe you want to pop the ball underneath the right hip and you just want to rock the legs from right to left. That's also another option. Stay on one side for as long as you want. When the other leg is calling to you to go into it, it is left ankle on right thigh. No rush. Check in if the hips are staying level and not one hip is lifting up. Just find that nice level quality of the pelvis. You might just decide that it feels nourishing to have both feet on the floor and just switch the ball so that you're now massaging the left hip. Hmm. Good. If you feel like you want to take some time to release upper body and even bring in a little bit of the weights, you can take a ball or block in between the inner thighs if you choose. And you can grab hold of the weights. And we'll just go into well, the one where we're going to do chopping wood. So the arms are extended, the weights can be touching, and then you're just flowing the arms up overhead. Now you're trying not to arch the back off the floor, so you're keeping the back ribs pressing into the floor. And then you're coming up and down. If you're not using the weights, then you're just touching the pads of the fingers and the thumbs up and back, the ceiling and down. This one's really good for releasing and re-lengthening out the body after all the work we did. And then if you choose to find a little bit of release through front body and back body, you can open the arms out to the side. It's what we call owl wings, and then back together. Remember, when you open your arms out to the side, you're not arching your back away from the floor, you're pressing it into the floor. Maybe an SH sound is coming in. Can have the palms facing away from you. As you open and close the arms, you can turn and face the palms even towards you a couple times. And then even turn the palms to face the wall behind you and open and close. So you're just working different myofascia muscles and fascia chains of muscles from the hands to the arms to the torso. Good. You take your time to be there. Some of you may just feel ready for a rest. You can take your bolster, pop it underneath the legs. You can even put the soles of your feet together and open the legs out if you want to go into butterfly pose. This is really nice for the inner thighs. You can take your bolster and even put it behind the upper thighs and the knees. And some of you might go in a straight leg, but some of you might bend the knees and put the soles of the feet together. And then you can support the thighs on the bolster. And it's a really nice opening of the inner thighs. Hey, I am also going to demonstrate wave pose, which is a flow through front body. So if you are feeling like you do want to do one final front body opening, you can flow into wave, which is on hands and knees with me. But if not, you're just resting on the floor. Yeah, just taking those few deep breaths there. Ah. I'm just going to go through wave for some of you that want to do it with the hands nice and wide and back into very soft child's pose. And then you're going to flow up and through as you exhale into a modified plank. And so you're just checking, are my hands underneath my shoulders when I extend? And so you just adjust that. And then you're going to flow through as you exhale. And then lifting up through pubic bone. Yes, it's always the one that sings through your body. Yeah. Chest and shoulders. So really feel the lifting from the pubic bone in the lower belly. So you're really lengthening the lower psoas first, and then the upper psoas and chest. Those of you that are in rest, you're just completely resting on the floor. If you're going through wave with me, you do as many times as you want, and then you just pause in child's pose. Take another breath if you haven't in the nose, maybe out the mouth. Oh, just gonna be here for one more minute. Mm. And the piece that I wanted to share today, it's just one line. It's quite short, so I'm going to read it a couple times. And the author's by Ruby Francisco. I'm still learning to love the parts of myself that no one claps for. I'm still learning to love the parts of myself that no one claps for. I'm still learning to love myself. Still learning to love the parts of myself that no one claps for. Just find this last minute here and just thank yourself for coming to practice today. Thank yourself for how you might feel some nourishment coming through, a more easeful breath or space in the body. You might feel a little wiggling starting to come in as you notice your toes and your arms and your fingers. And as you roll over to one side, you might take out the bolster and you come press down through the arm and sit up. So you can sit cross-legged, but you can also find straight leg, which is what we call Dandasana. And you really want to make sure that the pelvis is lifted. So sometimes you can even lift the hand up over the back of the thigh and the pelvis to find, okay, am I in a neutral pelvis? Sometimes I'll even do a little walk back through my pelvis just to feel, oh, there's the lift. Okay, so we don't want the pelvis slumping back. We want to feel that inner lift. Arms out to the side as we press the sit bones, the back of the thighs, the back of the calves into the floor, and we exhale out the mouth. Oh, good. And as you keep pressing down and inhale, arms reach out to the side and up. And exhale down to heart. And then go through heart all the way down. And inhale, reach up. And exhale all the way down and through the heart. And one last time. And pause at heart. Take a couple breaths here. Ah. If the eyes were closed, let them open. The head was bowed, lift it. Ah. Enjoy feeling your whole body as you move through the day. Thank you for being online, everyone.